welcome to this edition of Culture Mosaic, a weekly culture express that brings you the latest updates on the Vietnamese cultural and entertainment scenes. Discarded timber should not be wasted and can, in fact, be turned into beautiful and unique decor items. This is how a businessman in Hội An City, Quảng Nam Province has done and contributes to spreading the green and sustainable lifestyle. Discover more with us and enjoy beautiful images of the unique decor items before we move to beautiful photos of Vietnam taken by an Indian math teacher turned photographer. You will be amazed by these photos with interesting angles and history, of course. Last but not least, we'll discover the beauty of language of an ethnic group in Vietnam through the journey of a Spanish linguist. Those are all pieces of puzzles that can help you love Vietnam a little bit more. Businessman upcycles discarded timber into home decor items. An Indian photographer's love for Vietnam through his photos. And Spanish linguist's passion for Mã Liềng language. So now let's begin with some local news. A ceremony to receive the UNESCO Certificate of Recognition for the art of Xoay Thái as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity was held on September the 24th in Nghĩa Lộ Town in Bai Province. Speaking on behalf of leaders of the party and state, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính congratulated the authorities and people of ethnic groups in Yên Bái, Sơn La, Lai Châu and Điện Biên on the recognition of Xoay Thái art as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity during his remarks at these celebrations. Following the UNESCO certification ceremony, attendees were able to enter the art space and experience local culture through an art program centered on the theme Xoay Thái, Essence of Heritage Region. Artists from Yên Bái, Sơn La and Lai Châu all participated in the beautifully staged arts program, which featured dancing, singing and performances of Xoay Thái. On Sunday, September the 25th, at the VTV4 Friendship Labor Culture Palace, Hải Phòng City, 14 contestants advanced to the second round of the Sao Mai National Singing Contest Finale 2022. Among the contestants, 4 completed in the classical category, 5 completed in the folk category, and 5 in the pop category. After the intense competition, the jury selected 9 candidates with the best performances to continue to the third round, which will take place on October the 2nd. Unfortunately, the journey of 5 contestants ended there. Carrick is a rapper who's beloved by many young music lovers thanks to his easygoing style and the variations of his work. After Vì mẹ anh bắt chia tay or Because my mother forced me to break up, with more than 80 million views on YouTube, Carrick's next song, entitled Có chơi có chịu or I Play, I Pay, conveys a new perspective from the rapper that inspired recent hot topics on social media and features humorous lyrics. With his recent string of songs, Carrick has shown a change in his musical thinking and composition, providing fans with a new image and musical personality. After I Play, I Pay, Carrick plans to release a rap album with 7 songs and a series of promotional events. Typical Southwestern weddings with women wearing sun-protective clothing on the street and images of Vietnamese signature dishes. These unique images that were portrayed on contestants' national costumes were part of the Miss Grand Vietnam 2022 contest, which showcased a brilliant night of culture in which the contestants of different ethnic groups and regions converged. 60 costumes with 60 cultural representations imbued with different ethnic identities, from their cuisine to their culture to regional specialties. In the past, ethnic cultural costumes were usually designed by famous fashion designers. This year, the Miss Grand Vietnam contest held a round of competitions on a large scale. Not only did it give young designers the opportunity to show their talents, but it also sought to find the best costume that will be worn by Miss Grand Vietnam at the Miss Grand International Contest in Indonesia this October. This year, Sóc Trăng Province will host the South Khmer Culture, Sports and Tourism Festival 2022. This is a major event organized by the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism in collaboration with the People's Committee of the province. The festival is organized once every 2 years. The theme of this year's festival is preserving and promoting the cultural identity of the Khmer people in the South with equality, solidarity, respect, integration, and development. The festival will take place from the 6th to the 8th of November. This is also when the Ombok Festival of the Khmer people will be held. Upcycling has become an emerging trend in Vietnam as it not only helps protect the environment, but also delivers profound messages about the importance of nature and human culture. For many people, rotting timber that drips downstream from the source of a river after heavy rains can be used as firewood. But Lê Ngọc Thuận, a businessman in Hội An City, Quảng Nam Province, upcycled discarded timber into unique, eye-catching and high-profit handicrafts. In this way, he has promoted the local culture of Quảng Nam Province worldwide and inspired other people to live a green life, thereby creating sustainable values for society.
Con trao này nó được hình thành lên từ những cái thanh củi. Đây là những cái dấu đục còn để lại trên đào con trao. Khi mà người khách người ta nhìn vào, người ta thấy cái độ thô sơ và tỉ mỉ và từng cái nát đục. Cái phần lưng này thì để nó lại muốn là cái thời gian và năm tháng mà cái thanh gỗ này nó trâu ở dòng sông. Thì khi mà nó tái sinh lại nó vẫn còn cái di tích của nó. Mình phải tạo ra cái sự khác biệt. Tại vì cái làng nghề á, thì người ta cũng đã đi theo cái lối mòn là người ta tạo quá thật. Mà chính vì cái quá thật nó tốn cái lượng gỗ rất là nhiều. Với tôi thì với một cái thế hệ sau kế thừa với cái làng nghề và kế thừa những cái giá trị văn hóa của Hội An và Quảng Nam thì tôi muốn đem cái giá trị nghệ thuật tạo hình đưa vào trong những khúc gỗ nói lên được cái câu chuyện ở đó. Đây là một cái miếng gỗ mà được lấy từ ván thiền cũ. Tôi đã kể được cái văn hóa của ba cái vùng dọc theo sông Thu Bồn, đó là cờ tu, bắt đầu từ thượng nguồn là cờ tu về tới Mỹ Sơn và đến Hội An. Tôi mong muốn rằng trong tương lai là ba vùng sẽ có ba cái làng mộc điêu khắc mà tôi lấy cái tên là làng Củi Lũ.
Lê Ngọc Thuận has made his name in Hội An's tourism community as he was the first to initiate and develop the sustainable tourism model successfully in An Bang Fishing Village. He first nurtured the idea of starting a business that upcycles discarded timber into handicrafts in 2012. In the beginning, he made simple items for homestays and villas such as mirror frames, night lamps, clothes hangers, tables, and chairs. After nearly 10 years, he's pursued his ambition of starting a business that specializes in eco-friendly handicrafts and was finally able to establish an upcycling handicraft workshop. He hopes he can inspire other people to utilize and reuse discarded materials instead of buying new items.
Thân gỗ trôi trên sông rồi trên núi nó bị bão đánh, trên đó nó vẫn còn những cái vết trài xước, rồi những cái thời gian năm tháng rồi bị những cái con hào ở dưới sông nó ăn sâu vào trong cái gỗ đó, nó tạo ra những cái lỗ rất là đẹp. Vì cái đó mình không thể nào làm được, mà chỉ có thời gian có thể là vài chục năm, cái thanh gỗ nó nằm ở dưới sông có thể vài chục năm thì mới tạo ra được cái đó. Thì cái đó là cái giá trị mà vô hình. Thì tôi muốn dựa vào cái giá trị vô hình đó và đưa một chút cái giá trị văn hóa và sự sáng tạo vào để tạo ra những cái tác phẩm. Tại vì cái đó là không có cái nào giống cái nào. Nên đó là cái sự khác biệt, mà cái sự khác biệt mà nằm trên một cái tác phẩm nghệ thuật thì sẽ tạo ra một cái giá trị rất lớn. Tôi làm theo cái đặt hàng thì anh biểu cái gì tôi làm cái nấy, thì luôn tới một ngày người đặt hàng không đạt nữa thì tự động mình cháy. Còn với tôi thì khi mà tôi tìm hiểu ra được, tôi thấy được cái điều đó là không nên đi theo con đường đó, thì tôi đọc theo cái câu chuyện của tôi muốn kể. Và anh là người khách, anh mua cái câu chuyện của tôi, nên tôi là luôn phải nghĩ ra nhiều câu chuyện. sáng tạo đổi mới trên những cái tư duy nền tảng văn hóa của dân tộc mình đang có, thì tạo ra những cái sản phẩm có chất lượng hơn, có hàm lượng văn hóa nó cao hơn. Đây là một cái sản phẩm mà tôi cũng đã lên ý tưởng và cũng đã làm, và khách rất là quan tâm về sản phẩm này. Ở Hội An cũng có một khu phố, đặc biệt là đây là một cái di sản, thì người ta có thể chụp ảnh, người ta có thể xem, nhưng mà bây giờ người ta muốn đem cái khu phố cổ để về làm một cái quà tặng. Người ta cũng mong muốn mua cho mình một cái sản phẩm lưu niệm từ sản phẩm tái chế, đặc biệt là có câu chuyện văn hóa.
Most of the carving process involved manual skills. Discarded timber and wooden pieces come in different sizes and shapes, thereby encouraging the craftsman's creativity. That's why each handicraft delivers its own story and it bears the personal imprint of a craftsman.
Ví dụ như hôm nay người ta vui, người ta cũng thấy trong tinh thần rất là thoải mái, rồi người ta điêu khắc ra cái con mác, cái thần thái nó cũng khó. Rồi hôm nào người ta cũng thấy có một chút giận dữ thì người ta cái nét đục nó cũng khó đi rất nhiều. Thì chính vì đó mà khi tôi nhận ra thấy được cái vấn đề đó là cái giá trị vô hình mà mình cần phải khai thác. Tại vì khách du lịch, đặc biệt là người nước ngoài, người ta rất hiểu về sản phẩm thủ công. Khi mà người ta nhìn vào cái nét đục và người ta thấy được cái văn đục, cái dấu tay, cái giọt mồ hôi và cái công sức của người thợ, thì để mà khi mà người ta muốn sở hữu một sản phẩm đó, người ta thật sự tôn trọng.
Tôi rất thích làm những sản phẩm này vì từ những nguyên liệu gỗ tự nhiên thô sơ chưa có giá trị, chúng tôi chế tác thành những tác phẩm có giá trị đẹp, luôn luôn sáng tạo trong cuộc sống này, giúp tôi rất là yêu thích công việc này.
Cái độc đáo của anh Thuận là như thế này, mình đánh giá cao là anh sử dụng những thứ gọi là đã bỏ đi và không ai nghĩ tới, thì anh lại phát triển được, định hình được một cái sản phẩm nó rất là giá trị. Ví dụ như mình có sử dụng một số sản phẩm ở đây là cái gỗ này nó đã qua kiểu va chạm với thời gian của cái độ sâu sắc của sản phẩm, nó sẽ hiện vào cái tâm hồn của sản phẩm á. Cái giá trị về sản phẩm là tính mỹ thuật thứ nhất, cái thứ hai là cái giá trị ở đây nó truyền tải được cái thông điệp tích cực cho cuộc sống. Thứ ba nữa là anh định hình được cái giá trị của cái làng nghề cổ Hội An, nó phát triển vươn xa hơn, xây dựng cái văn hóa tái chế cho xã hội.
Từ qua cái mộc này, vì mình đã khám phá ra được những cái tiềm năng của nó rất là lớn khi mà mình nhìn ra một cái bức tranh thế giới và cái câu chuyện về tái chế của thế giới. Cái mong muốn tôi là mình sẽ xây dựng được một cái hệ sinh thái về làng Củ Lũ dọc Quảng Nam để mà từng bước xuất khẩu gỗ tái chế và đồ thủ công mỹ nghệ. Con người Hội An được sống và được tồn tại và được cống hiến như tôi bây giờ là dựa trên nền tảng văn hóa và khai thác văn hóa để mà bán ra cho các bạn bè quốc tế. Mình không thể nào kế thừa di sản mà mình để bào màu di sản mình. Những cái nguyên liệu bỏ đi nó thật sự nó rất là đẹp, nó rất hay. Mình phải yêu thương nó đã. Mình cũng thấy đó là giống như linh hồn của mình. Phải làm tận tâm, làm chi tiết và làm đúng để nó thật sự bền vững. Cùng một lúc là mình có thể là giúp được cho cái cộng đồng và chia sẻ cái lợi nhuận của mình và chia sẻ cơ hội để cho cái tạo ra một cái hệ sinh thái làng nghề trong tương lai nó phát triển một cách bền vững hơn.
Life is returning to normal, and many photographers have packed up their gear and resumed their adventures. Prabu Mohan, an Indian maths teacher who came to live in Vietnam in 2012 and found a passion for photography here, couldn't wait to explore the country again and capture its beauty. Known and praised for his impressive aerial photos of nature and unique shots of the bustling city where he lives, Prabu cites the friendliness of Vietnamese people and daily life as influences and cherishes memories he made along his journeys. We have him here on the mic this week to learn more about his love for photography and Vietnam.
Golden rays of sunlight beaming down an ancient palace gate. Nhiệt Tình Bridge shines bright like a beacon for those returning to their beloved city. And apartments glow with the colors of the national flags during lockdown. Looking at these pictures, one can't help but feeling a strong affection for Hanoi and Vietnam, whether they live here or are only visiting. The photos belong to Prabu Mohan, a maths professor and self-taught photographer who calls Hanoi home for the past 12 years. Many of his photos of Vietnam have gone viral on social media. Though primarily interested in nature, his impressive photos of cities also earned Prabu lots of praise. He won the A award in a photo contest to celebrate Vietnamese solidarity during the pandemic, and the 2020 Aerial Photography Award in the World in Lockdown category.
Thank you, Prabu Mohan, for joining our show today.
Thank you very much for having me here.
So we've seen all of your photos, and we're really impressed. Through those photos, we see a very deep love of Vietnam, and particularly Hanoi. So what makes those places the source of inspiration for you?
I love busy life, and being in Hanoi and the life around here is quite interesting for me. When I accepted the offer to come here, I didn't have any expectation. I just wanted to go and see the life there and then probably do my job for a couple of years. But there are a lot of interesting things. I didn't realize it before coming here, like the life here and the friendliness of the people. And then the moment you feel like you belong to the place, your mind gets more creative. You know, you start thinking like you are here as one of them, and then you start mingle with people, and then you get a lot of ideas of doing things like this. That's how it all started.
So which one of your photos are you most proud of?
I have a lot of favorites, but the one thing that people can connect with emotionally, those are my favorite photos. The very first photo I took was the very first semi-final win of the football celebration, I think. I didn't expect it to go viral, or I didn't expect everyone to like that photo, but then people connected it emotionally with that photo. And the other one is the one I took during COVID. And again, I never expected that photo to go viral. At the beginning of COVID, people didn't have much idea about COVID, right? You don't know what is going to happen, and a lot of uncertainties. So things like this was kind of motivation for me as well. As an expat, you're living here away from family. And then when you see things like this, that gives you some kind of confidence and hope, right?
So your photos are very popular on social media, and some of them even won international awards. How does it make you feel, receiving such an amount of support?
It makes me really happy. Again, I didn't really think about the awards when I submitted these photos, because I didn't know that how others are going to look at it. I felt really good when others also connect the same way I connect myself with the photo I took. So that's the biggest satisfaction you get, then the awards and everything.
Hailing from Tamil Nadu, India, Prabu's life in Vietnam is divided into two distinct contrasts: the great outdoors and the inside of a college lecture hall. When a work week or a semester ends, he drives up to Vietnam's faraway regions and captures dozens of amazing videos and photos. He often spends hours waiting for the sun to rise over a sea of clouds, or trekking along rocky mountain routes to look for gorgeous sceneries. Though sharing his spectacular views to online communities, including over 6,000 followers on Instagram, the calming symphonies of Vietnam's mountains, forests and beaches are for his own personal enjoyment. Picturesque Vietnam offers Prabu a satisfying range of photography experience. Thanks to traveling all around the country, Prabu not only captures moments but also collects memories of the lands and the people.
I know that you started your love for photography when you're in Vietnam, particularly, and why here and not other places that you have been to?
I think I started traveling more when I came to Vietnam. That's one of the main reasons. I mean, when I was in the other places before, I didn't get the chance to travel as frequently as I do here. So the more you travel to different places, and then you would like to get those beautiful pictures for your memory at least. So that's how I started, and that's why I really bought a camera first, and then I started taking photos after that.
So you are particularly fond of aerial shots and landscapes of Vietnam. So do you have any particular memories attached to those places?
And some of the mountain areas, when I travel, I mostly go alone. And then with my limited Vietnamese, sometimes I speak to people, and then they try to help me. The moment you speak one or two sentences in Vietnamese, just a few lines here and there, and then they become much more friendlier, and then they talk about where are you from, and then what do you do, and things like this. And so I have a lot of memories of interacting with the locals. One such incident I had was in Tasua when I went to Sonla. It was a camping trip. I went to camp on my own, and then I was putting my tent by myself, and then one of these locals, a Hmong ethnic person, he came and helped me to set up the tent, and he helped me to put a campfire by himself, and then he gave his mobile number as well, and then so whenever I need food and everything, I used to just send him a message, and then he bring it to me. So I still be in touch with him. It's been like more than 6 years, and every time I go there, he comes and then helps me with everything. So these kind of experience is something I enjoy a lot.
What is the place that you think, that you feel like you can go back to time and time again without, feeling tired?
All the mountains in the north, actually. I mean, I can go anytime. I can go frequently. Even if the weather is not good, I still go there. And mostly my weekends are free. So anytime I finish my class at Friday, and then I just drive straight somewhere to the mountains, and then I just do a camping couple of days, and then I come back.
So do you think there is a stark difference between what you are currently doing now, which is a math teacher, which is pretty classroom bound, and the other one is photography, where you can travel around Vietnam and probably all over the world. So is it a conflict of interest, or does it support each other in any way?
So far, no conflicts, because I love doing both, so I need to find a balance. Teaching is one of my passions. Photography is something I got into very recently, less than 8 years, probably 8 years or 10 years. So I'm trying to still find a balance, and whenever I get time other than my teaching schedule, I always travel. That also gives you a fresh mind to start your work for the next week. So I don't feel tired traveling, and your mind is free when you go there.
So what is your future plan? Are we going to see Prabu Mohan, photographer, on the name of a photography book someday on the bookshelf?
Because I spend most of the time in the north, so I'm planning to do one photo book in northern Vietnam, covering the landscapes and the life of people. During the year 2020, I didn't have a chance to fly back to my home. So I did my trip from Hanoi to Ho Chi Minh by car, all alone. And that's when I explored few places. And Phu Yen is one of my favorite places. It's really peaceful and quiet, but still I think I need to go a few more times to get a good sense of those places, to give people the visual treat of how they see the places if they are there.
So thank you so much, Prabu, for joining our show today and sharing with us very interesting stories. And we hope that all of your future endeavors, including the photo book projects, is going to receive a lot of support from Vietnamese people, not only in Vietnam, but also all over the world.
And thank you very much for the interview, and I love these questions. I think I had a good time here. Okay, thank you very much.
Albert Badosa Rodos, a Spanish linguist, has fallen in love with Vietnam's culture since his first trip to the country several years ago. The impression has motivated him to choose Vietnam to do his doctoral thesis. Albert has taken an expedition in central Vietnam to document and describe the language of the Mã Liềng, one of the most isolated groups in central Vietnam. So let's join us in this segment of Connecting Cultures to see part of the linguist's journey, which provides him lots of opportunities to do research as well as getting insights about one of the special group in Vietnam.
The Mã Liềng is one of the 6 ethnic groups with the smallest populations in Vietnam. As a nomadic ethnic group living in the mountains, after more than 30 years of settling down in Quảng Bình and Hà Tĩnh in north-central Vietnam, the Mã Liềng people are still known as a timid and rather close group of people. Despite this, Mr. Albert Badosa Roldo from Spain is comfortable chatting with Mã Liềng people in Lâm Hóa Commune, Tuyên Hóa District, Quảng Bình Province.
So I think I'm lucky that people here are really friendly, but it's true that in the beginning they were shy, especially because, I mean, it's the first time that some foreigner from another country that speaks rusty Vietnamese comes here and asks about the language and culture. That's a shock to them, and I understand that. And it was my job to kind of gain their trust a little bit. And I think now it's I mean, pretty much accomplished. So I can talk to the people on the road like if they were my neighbors.
Albert Berdosa-Raldo is a graduate student who majors in languages. He shared that he had traveled to Vietnam once before. It was that trip that left him with such a good impression of Vietnamese culture and people. As a result, he chose to return to Vietnam to do his doctoral thesis on the Mã Liềng language. At the start of 2020, he traveled to Quảng Bình to stay there and participate in many local daily activities.
Băng đi trong ngon một tí.
Ngon. Hai vì châu Âu đấy có. We document the culture and the language because culture and language is intrinsical. I mean, it's related. So you cannot separate both of them. So we document the language in the local culture in order to preserve it. And yeah, I'm very excited to share these experiences with them, and I hope it's not the last time I go to the forest.
Đây là cây bông ôn.
Cây bông ôn.
Là ăn thứ đấy.
Ăn mùa nào ăn khi mua?
Lẩu tháng tham nhỉ. Đây là ăn gục vào nên là có plen đây. Này.
Ngon
lắm mà. A common problem of linguists around the world when working with ethnic minorities is that the people who still use their mother tongue are mostly elderly people. Meanwhile, preserving a language requires the awareness of young people. This Tarpan artist is one example. She's the only Mã Liềng person in Lâm Hoa commune who can still play this kind of flute and improvise in the Mã Liềng language. However, she doesn't speak Vietnamese fluently, making it difficult for Albert to understand the Mã Liềng language.
For me, it's challenging because here I have to learn the local Vietnamese dialect because I know the dialect from Hanoi, which is very different. And I also have to learn a new language. It's really easy to learn about what's the name of this thing, of things you can touch, but things you cannot touch, it's difficult. So the most difficult thing, like not only for me, but for all linguists working with languages in the world, is to learn about like the abstract words. So for example, things like love, like friendship.
Despite his hardships, Albert has not been alone in his work. His colleagues from Hanoi National University have joined him. Professor Chen Chi-Doi was the one who brought Albert to Quảng Bình province and continues to support him so that he can work with Mã Liềng relatives in Hà Tĩnh.
Ngôn ngữ nó là một thành tố của văn hóa. Muốn bảo vệ được văn hóa là phải hiểu cái ngôn ngữ trong cái ý thức của những cái sinh viên nghiên cứu sinh như anh An thì anh cho rằng là cái việc bảo tồn cái văn hóa của bất cứ tộc người nào trên cái thế giới này là đều vinh quang cả. Vì vậy cho nên anh ấy sẵn sàng, anh ấy ở đây 2-3 tháng với một cái gia đình Mã Liềng nhé.
Một. It's difficult, but yeah, so it's a kind of an extra motivation. So I also feel special doing that. So I'm happy that Vietnam welcomed me and helped me to accomplish this kind of mission that us the linguists have imposed to ourselves.
And that is the end of our program. If you'd like to catch us online, download the VTV Go app from your Google Play or App Store, or simply tune in our YouTube channel at youtube.com/VTV4Go for more of our programs. And don't forget to join us next week for another episode of Culture Mosaic. Goodbye for now.